Welcome to the Lights Lounge, a weekly home for all things Las Vegas Lights FC. We're here every single week throughout the 2026 season for a deeper dive into everything that happens on the pitch, including match previews and analysis alongside a new guest every single episode. Remember to hit the like and subscribe buttons, turn on the notifications so you don't miss out on any of our upcoming episodes. Home opener's right around the corner, and to chat about our upcoming match at Cashman, as well as analyze the 3 games so far this season, we've got striker Johnny Rodriguez joining us on the pod. Johnny, welcome back to the Lights Lounge. How are we feeling?
Good. Happy to be back.
Last time you were on the pod, we were in a completely different location.
Right.
So I think we've done like upwards of, Gabe, how many? 20, 30 episodes? Something like that over the course of last season. I think you were just the second episode right after we did Valentine Noel. So happy to have you back. If you want to hear about Johnny's story and Johnny's journey to where we are, go check out that episode from last year. I think it was a really good conversation.
Yeah.
And you've got a pretty cool story about how you got here. But today I think we're just going to talk about the team, the season, and get really tactical with it and look ahead to the home opener. So let's just kind of start from the beginning and go chronologically. As the team got together in preseason this year, got together with head coach Devin Rinsing, his first preseason. A lot of turnover in the roster. I think only 9 returning players, a lot of new players. How did that first phase of preseason go as you were here in Las Vegas, then went to the Dominican Republic, and how did you see the team come together over time?
Yeah, like you said, we had a lot of new guys, a lot of newcomers, but I think the staff did a good job in bringing in good people off the field. So, I mean, it was kind of easy to gel with them and get to know them and talk to them and just be around them. And then, obviously, we had a few weeks here in Vegas, and then we went to the Dominican Republic for about 2 weeks. Played some games there, obviously bonded more. I got to know some of the guys off the field. But no, I think it was very important to do that trip, and it helped us tremendously, just leading up to the season because, again, we can know each other on the field, but knowing somebody more personal, kind of you get to understand them a little bit better and get to know them a little bit better. So I think it was good to just bond and just see everybody off the field a little bit more and talk and chat and whatnot.
What was the favorite off-field activity around the resort? What was everyone doing away from training?
A lot of people were obviously just going to the beach, going by the water. But yeah, so a lot of people would get some coffee because there was a nice little coffee.
I've heard
coffee
pickleball
shop.
rumors. Pickleball rumors.
Pickleball, yes.
Were you part of the pickleball squad?
I played a little bit. I don't think I lost one game or one, I guess, round.
Oh.
We did a best of 3, and maybe I lost one, but the series I would always win. It didn't matter really who you partnered me up with. It was just, I think it was just me kind of carrying a little bit. So, but pickleball was fun. Tennis was fun. And yeah, we had a lot of fun.
Yeah, we've got producer Melissa Olvera behind the camera over there, and she's shaking her head as Johnny talks about how much he carried the pickleball teams. So,
yeah.
But she doesn't have a mic, so she can't do anything about it.
Exactly.
What was Devin's real message during that Dominican Republic stint? What were you guys trying to accomplish on the field over the course of those 2 weeks?
We were trying to accomplish a few things. We were trying to accomplish, obviously, understanding how he wants us to play and how he wants us to attack and defend and, the mid block and all that. But I think the most important was just trying to get everybody's fitness up because obviously we coming off the off season, everybody, doing their own thing, obviously playing some games, training sessions, but it's never the same as a whole team training. So we were, trying to get our fitness levels up. And like I said, it's just trying to focus a lot on how he wants us to attack and defend. So we try to focus on that. And then obviously having 3 games out there kind of helped that just to, have 3 opponents that can test us a little bit. So we try to emphasize, obviously, the defending side and then a little bit on the attack as well.
Yeah. Quick turnaround when you guys came back. I think you landed on Sunday or Monday and then immediately had to get over to Orange County for a game that Saturday.
Yeah.
As you led into that week, obviously that ended up being a 1-1 draw. Knight came off the bench and got a late equalizer. Pinzon with the assist from that side, from the right side. How did you see how that Orange County game went as the first real test for this new group?
Yeah, I mean, Orange County is a very good opponent, especially at home. But, both teams were excited. There was a lot of jitters, a lot of nervousness. But I think we handled it pretty well. Obviously, conceding a goal in the first half is not ideal. But I think we responded well, and leaving that place with a point is, being the first game of the season kind of hopefully carries over for the rest of the season. You never know how important that point might be.
True.
But no, I think we maybe could have done a little bit more to get, the full 3 points. But I think, Knight came on and, gave us a spark, as well as Abby. And obviously Christian Pinzon doing what he does, serving the ball in, and Knight finishing, incredible finish, by the way. And then just holding on and, getting out there with a point. So obviously there's a lot of things we could work on, and we're going to work on to build off of that. But no, I think it was a good opening day draw. So we moved.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, when we had Carson on after that game, he was just talking about not starting super well. He was talking specifically about him wanting to get on the ball more in that opening 15 minutes as central midfielder, have things be a little bit more settled down.
Yeah.
I think that carried over a little bit into the Colorado Springs game. That's a difficult place to play with the altitude and different things going on in the squad at that time. That ends up being a 3-2 loss. That's really kind of Abi's breakout day, Ibrahim Okiere, with 2 goals late in that game. Just big picture, what's your evaluation of that second game against Colorado Springs?
Yeah, I mean, again, Colorado is maybe the hardest place to go play at. And it being a earlier kickoff kind of, it was kind of different, just your game day, match day are always you're preparing for a 7 p.m. kickoff, and now it's a 2-3 p.m. kickoff. So it was kind of
it just messes with your rhythm, right? 'Cause
yeah,
you're used to eating breakfast and then eating a meal at a certain time,
right,
going
right.
on a walk at a certain time,
Right,
and
right.
then phasing yourself into it. So when that match time changes by 4 or 5 hours, it can kind of mess with your rhythm.
Yeah,
for sure.
so not to make any excuses, but obviously time change and
Just the
and
factors at
altitude,
play.
everything. But obviously again we started off not the best start. Going down 2 goals. But then, again, we fought back and never gave up and never gave in, and we were able to tie the game. And then, again, Abby doing what he does, got us back in the game. And then, just an unlucky last couple minutes, they were able to get one back to be up 3-2. And then after that, we were chasing a little bit, trying to, come away with a draw at least. But it was, unfortunately, we weren't able to. But, again, I think it being Colorado, and we know the challenges that they present, and obviously that the stadium presents, it was going to be a tough game. But I think we handled it okay, and fighting back after being down 2-0 kind of says a little bit about what we want to do and how we want to be. But I mean, we have to be better, and being down 2 goals and then being able to tie the game late in the game, and you just got to be able to hold on and just again come away with 1 point in the toughest place to play in the league. So yeah.
Let's use the opportunity to talk about Okiere, because that was kind of his breakout, right? Because he came off the bench and provided a good spark against Orange County.
Right.
But playing kind of underneath you in that attacking midfield role. Plays on the right wing at Colorado Springs. Plays on the right wing at Tulsa. Played in underneath you in Colorado Springs. Regardless, he's got a lot of positional flexibility.
Right.
Talk to me about what you see from him as a player and what it's like to play with him.
Yeah, I mean, him and I were here before the team was here, so we were kind of training on our own for a little bit. I mean, I was talking to him. I was like, "What? You look like a winger to me. Like, what position do you play?" And he's like, "No, I'm actually, I play like a holding mid, like number 6." I was like, "Oh wow, like I would have never thought that." And then obviously him now, getting higher up the field and doing that, I'm like, Abby, I didn't know you could do this. Like, what is this? This is coming out of nowhere. He's like, yeah, I don't know. It's just in a good phase right now. And but I think he's a great player, and obviously he can score some goals. And I mean, we're gonna need him, going forward. And he provides a big spark. He has a huge engine in him, so he can run up and down the field, can defend very well, and obviously can score some goals. But no, I mean, I hope he continues, and I hope he keeps scoring some goals, especially because he has a newborn. So just happy for him.
Yeah, that's amazing. Let's talk about Tulsa then, final game that we'll dive into individually. Another tough 3-2 loss to open the season, but probably the game where we saw you get going for the first time this season. You get a goal to open things up, get an assist on Okiere's second goal. What'd you see from that game? And then what'd you see from your performance specifically that encourages you?
Yeah, obviously, scoring a goal obviously feels good. That's what I like to do. And then obviously getting an assist, helping the team. But again, we were able to score first this time, especially being on the road. Mm-hmm. And we always say, like, when we score first, we're very hard to beat. But then again, we kind of had a little hiccup right before the half. So we kind of, gave them life a little bit. And then obviously coming back in the second half, they were able to get one. And then, again, we were able to come back from being down, scoring on the road again, mm-hmm. equalizing the game again. And then late in the game again, we give up another lead. It's just like we just got to be a little bit better in all three of these games, and maybe we can have more points or whatever. Yeah. Maybe this conversation will be different, So mm-hmm. I just think the Tulsa game presented obviously a different challenge because, new players in different positions and whatnot. So, I mean, we again worked hard and did everything we could have to leave there with some points, but credit to them, they were able to pick up on some hiccups of ours and come away with 3. So but we'll be waiting for them back when we get back home.
Yeah. I mean, talk to me defensively and what's going on and what the solutions are. Because obviously last year the team struggled to score goals. You scored goals at a good clip, but overall the team struggled to find the back of the net over the course of the season. That seems to be solved, right? Like the team's finding the back of the net, scored in all 3 games, 5 goals over the first 3 games. Pretty good rate. Yeah. The struggle right now is keeping the ball out of the back of our own net. And obviously in football, in soccer, it's 11 players defending, and it's not just like you have a defense and an offense. So talk to me, like what is it a structural issue? Is it just like focus in small moments? What's your evaluation of it?
I think it's more so like I said, we just have a few hiccups some games, and opponents are able to capitalize on that. But I don't think it's nothing like formation-wise. I don't think it's any of that tactically. Nothing. I think it's just some hiccups that we have. Mm-hmm. But I mean, that starts with the forwards. We're the first line of defending. So it starts with us. So maybe we can look at ourselves in the mirror and say what we can do better. Mm-hmm. Because like you said, last year we were pretty hard to get scored on. We had a lot of clean sheets and whatnot. But I think the forwards maybe need to take a look at ourselves and see what we can do to help our whole team, not just scoring goals, but obviously on the defensive side. And I mean we gotta be better. We as a collective we gotta help Jared as much as we can, because he's the last line of defense. So it takes. The ball's got to go through 10 of us before it can even reach to him. So I think we just got to, eliminate the hiccups that we have during the games, and we'd be in a better position.
Yeah, absolutely. Solvable problems.
Yeah, for sure.
Right?
Yes.
Like it's just focus in small moments,
exactly,
maybe an individual error here or there,
yeah.
clean up a couple of things, the goals will keep flowing.
Right.
So we'll see how it goes. Again, small sample size, right? Like it's only 3 games into the season.
Right,
There's no need to press alarm buttons quite yet. Speaking of the forwards and the forward line, Manuel Arteaga had some visa issues early in the year. He wasn't with you guys in the Dominican Republic, so he's just now kind of like getting into the team. Came off the bench in both of the last 2 matches, so you guys kind of playing side by side a little bit more consistently lately. How's that relationship developing? What's it like to play with him?
Good. I think he obviously is a well-known player in the league, so a lot of teams respect him and have to pay attention to him when he's on the field. Mm-hmm. But no, I think him and I all 3 of us can benefit off of each other. We're all gonna talk to each other and see what we can do to help each other benefit in the best possible way that we can. And yeah, I think he's just gonna be a huge plus on our team. He's gonna score some goals. He's gonna defend. He's gonna get dirty. He's going to do all this nasty work. So I think he's going to be a very big. He's going to be a very big puzzle in our piece in our puzzle when all the pieces just come together. Because again, he's a very big player in the league, and teams have to respect him when he's on the field.
Yeah. Does training feel more competitive for places for you this year, especially in the attack? It seems like Devin has a lot of options and a lot of guys with positional flexibility that can play in a lot of different ways. Do you feel that on the training field, like that competition for places?
Yeah, I mean, for sure. I mean, but again, it's like we're only going to make each other better. Yeah. Obviously, you kind of have to step up every single day at training because, again, we have very good people that can play at at a very high level. So if you're not up to that, you kind of fall back. So I think, having Knight and Manuel that push us every day at training is only going to make all of us better. So I think it's going to be a very healthy competition. And, again, whoever gets the nod on the weekend, we're going to back them up. We're going to be there. We're going to support them. So whoever that is, we're always going to be their biggest fan.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think honestly, especially with the team being very healthy right now, it's the beginning of the season, kind of everyone's available. You only have 18-man squads in the USL rather than 20-man squads.
Right.
So it's tough to make the 18-man squad right now. There are good players getting left off of the 18 every single week. Guys that are training well in the week.
Right.
But it is, I think, a numbers game. But I don't know. That's Devin's issue.
Yeah, exactly. Issue, right? I'm happy I'm a player. I don't got to make those tough decisions. So you can leave that up to him.
Yeah. Does it feel good to get that first goal off the mark? I know sometimes as a striker, if it goes a little bit too long without getting that first goal, it starts to feel like a monkey on your back. Does it feel good to get that first one, a little bit of weight off the back?
I mean, when I scored, I was like, finally it's in the back of the net. But no, like I said, it's a good feeling to being able to help the team in any way that I can, scoring goals, getting assists, playing defense, whatever it is. But yeah, no, like you said, getting that monkey off your back just feels good. Hopefully that leads to many more goals. That's what I like to do. I like to, score goals, celebrate with my team. Seeing them happy makes me happy. So once I score, I see them, run to me, just celebrate together. It's no better feeling. So, I mean, hopefully that monkey's off the back. If not, we're going to keep going and keep knocking until it's off our backs.
I'm curious how you see yourself as a player and as a striker and like the profile that you believe you are, because we've seen you lead the line as like a traditional solo 9. I've seen you partner Arteaga, partner Pickering. I've seen you play underneath more as a 10. What do you think are like the things that you do at a really high level that allow you, because you've been very successful and scored double-digit goals across the previous 3 seasons. What are the things that you think you do at a high level that allow you to do that?
I'm not sure. I don't know. I just try to do whatever it is I think will help the team. Again, if I got to play a little deeper, if I got to be the solo 9, if I got to play double 9, the 10, whatever it is, I embrace it and I embrace the challenge and I attack it head on, and I just try to do my best. Obviously, like every position requires something different. But I just try to ask questions, talk to Devin, like, what does he want out of me this week? How can we hurt the opponent? How can we get behind him? How can we, put him in a tough position? So I just try to be open-minded and embrace every challenge that I get.
Yeah. I'm curious. This is kind of a random question, but you as a striker are going to make about 20, 25, 30 runs into the box, looking for the right delivery, the right cutback, those kinds of things. What kind of conversations are you having with the wingers? And like, how frustrating can it be when you feel like you've made a good run, but maybe Ben Mines or Pinzon haven't quite seen it and they've chosen the wrong options? Like, are you guys having conversations on the training field about like, hey, in these scenarios, I like to come here, so like, look for the cutback? Just curious about that.
Yeah.
And how
so
you find space in the box.
For sure, we have conversations about where they like to deliver the ball, where they feel they're the best at delivering the ball. But I also tell them, like, I like to, make my run near post or back post, whatever it is. But me and Manuel and I have also talked a little bit amongst ourselves on, like, what do you feel more comfortable doing? What do you like to do? That way we can, if we're on the field at the same time, we can kind of already know what each other like to do. But I mean, I was rooming with Nick in Tulsa, and I was telling him, because he got the start, and I was telling him, like, yo, Nick, when you have the ball, like, and you like see me, know that I'm always gonna like go here, you know. So it hasn't came yet, but I think it's a long season. So we're gonna try to get that going, and obviously, it's a long season, like I said. So hopefully sooner rather than later.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, home openers right around the corner. A tough way to start the season with 3 road games. How were you guys looking at that as a group? Like, man, 3 road games to start the season. Like, what was the overarching goal across those 3 games?
I mean, honestly, it felt like a whole 5 weeks of being on the road because we were in the DR for 2 weeks, and then we come back and have to go to OC, and then come back and go to Colorado, and then come back and go to Tulsa, and now being able to come back and stay in Vegas for the home opener, it feels good. I mean, I think the guys are excited, but no, we just try to attack those games, and knowing that once we get these 3 straight road games off the way, we're gonna have some home games where we're gonna be at home in front of our home crowd, and we're gonna be able to give them a nice little show.
Yeah, absolutely. What do you think is a key to success for the team in getting 3 points in the home opener? Just focusing on you guys, like what's the one thing that in training this week maybe, or for you personally, you feel like is going to be the key to unlocking 3 points?
Yeah, I mean, Monterey is obviously a tough team to play, but I think as long as we're mentally focused and not having these hiccups that we continue to have, and just bringing that energy, like I said, because it's our first home opener. It's our home opener. We're gonna try to attack that game as like the season opener, for us, because we're finally at home. We get to sleep at our own beds the night before. We get to enjoy our meals, whatever it is. So we're buzzing, and we're excited to finally be able to be home in front of our crowd.
Yeah. What are you seeing from Monterey Bay? Give me like the basic scouting report that doesn't give away anything.
Yeah, no, I mean, like I said, they're a tough team to play against. Obviously coming off a good result against Sacramento, at Sacramento. So, I mean, again, they've had very close games just like us. So, they're going to be ready to go, and they're going to come in here. Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming expecting 3 points, but unlucky, we're not just going to hand them 3 points. We're going to come ready to play, and hopefully, the ball rolls our way that day.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think Monterey's an interesting team right now. They had a rough start to the season, but then they go to Sacramento, and Sacramento's a hard place to play, as we learned the hard way last year. Right. But they should have won that game. They had a penalty in the 89th minute, and they could have walked away with 3 points there. So I think the trick here is not looking at the fact that they have 2 losses and a draw, and under it. Same difference with us, right? We have 1 loss and 2 draws, or 1 draw and 2 losses. So making sure that we're not underestimating and drawing conclusions about teams too soon, right? Like just assuming like, God, this team's not that good.
Right? No. I mean, I don't think there's an easy team in this league. I mean, we can be in August and team can have 1 win, but that team is not just gonna come in here and give you 3 points. They're gonna fight, and they're gonna scrap and do whatever they got to do to make it as tough as possible.
Yeah, and I just think the margins are really tight in this league in general. Like there's not that big of a a gap between the top teams and the bottom teams. And I think especially the West this year is really stacked very close. The East kind of has like Louisville and Charleston in the past have really been like elite, and then some teams that are farther and those points gaps are bigger. But I think the West is going to be kind of a dogfight.
It's going to be a whole bloodbath in the West. So, I mean, again, we got to start picking up some points, and when those later months come in, we have to give ourselves a shot to be able to compete and hopefully qualify for the playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely. What are you most looking forward to from the stadium environment? What's something about the stadium environment that you remember from last year that you're like, that gets me going?
I mean, obviously just again, driving in before the game, just seeing our supporters outside barbecuing or whatever it is that they do there, just seeing them, knowing that they're ready to go, kind of pumps me up, because if they're ready, we have to, provide for them as well. But no, I mean, especially from last year, every time I would score a goal, anybody would score a goal, they would say, the first name, and then the fans would say the last name. I think that's just, I love that. So I think, just scoring the first goal here in front of our home crowd is going to be something amazing, and I think they should be excited for that, because we're working very hard this week to give them a nice little show, because obviously we're excited to be back home and play in front of them.
Yeah, cool. Any other message to the fans here as we wrap up ahead of the home opener?
Yeah, I think they're going to be super important. This place last year was a tough place for people to come in and play, and we're going to need that and even more. All their support never goes unnoticed. We see everything, we hear everything. So yeah, we're just excited to play in front of them and just hopefully give them something that they can be proud of.
Awesome. Well, Johnny, thank you. Glad to see you on the score sheet. Glad to see you in form as this season kicks off. Looking forward to seeing you play at Cashman Field this Saturday for the first time in 2026. Wishing you all the best success, and hopefully have you back on the pod later this year.
Sounds good. Thank you.
All right, everyone. That wraps us up. Make sure you get your tickets now. LasVegasLightsFC.com/tickets. Starting at just $22. Join us at Cashman Field for the home opener against Monterey Bay FC. Free flag giveaway. Drone show at halftime and full time. Tell your friends and family. Get them out here. Let's crash Cashman.